Study magnetic fields, problems on inductance, series on electromagnetic field theory, lecture number 2.71. Inductance in magnetic fields is what capacitance is in electric fields. It refers to energy storage capacity in magnetic fields. In the present session, the focus is on problems set around inductance pertaining to various current carrying configurations like coaxial cable, parallel wire line, solenoid, toroid, etc. Before going to the actual problems and their solution procedures, let us consider the definition of self-inductance and how it is related to energy. Self-inductance of a multi-turn coil is ratio of total flux linkages to current. So it is the ratio of flux linkages to current. Mathematically, L is N pi by I. N is number of turns, I is flux, I is current. Magnetic energy in a coil is related to its self-inductance. The relation is W equal to half Li square. This relation is familiar, quite familiar to us because we are taught it while we are studying circuit theory. This relation is useful to find energy in the inductor. Not only that, it is also useful to find inductance of a coil when energy is available, current is available. L equal to 2W by I square. Now, to begin with, we consider a problem. Example 1. Show the internal inductance per unit length of a cylindrical straight conductor is independent of its radius when current density is uniform over its cross section. The conductor is sketched here. It is cylindrical, circular cylindrical. It is carrying a current I. It is said this current is uniformly distributed over its cross section. Solution. Assume for the conductor permeability is mu, radius is A, length is L meter. It is shown here. Suppose it is carrying a current I amperes and it is given that this current is spread uniformly over the cross section. Therefore, current density J is I, total current amperes, divided by cross sectional area, that is pi a square. The field intensity H at a distance of rho, here is rho, at a distance of rho less than A, can be found from Ampere's law. H equal to I rho by 2 pi a square amperes per meter. What is Ampere's law? It is H dot dl closed line integral equal to I enclosed. So using this relation, H can be computed. The magnetic energy in the conductor then is W is mu by 2 volume integral H square d tau. H is available. Substituting and perform integration, we get an expression for energy. This is energy in the conductor whose length is L. Energy in the conductor per unit length becomes mu I square by 16 pi. Inductance per unit length then is energy per unit length into 2 divided by I square. It results in mu by 8 pi. Mu by 8 pi expression, it doesn't contain radius. Before going further, one point is required to be mentioned. We know coils, wire coils or conductor coils having inductance. The result of this problem says not only coils but also the wire with which the coil is wound. It also possesses certain amount of inductance. It is internal inductance. We know wires have certain resistance, but the result in the present problem says in addition to resistance, it also possesses inductance called internal inductance. The same result can be obtained using basic definition of self-inductance, that is flux linkages to conductor current ratio. By applying Ampere's circuit law, the flux density within the conductor at a radius of rho can be found as this. B equal to mu I rho by 2 pi a square pi cap. So this is the direction, azimuthal direction. The flux leaving a differential shell of thickness d rho and length dz can be found as, it is d phi. D phi is B d rho dz. B is available here, d rho dz. The flux linkages d lambda can be obtained by multiplying d phi with the ratio of area within the path enclosing the flux to the total area. It is d lambda equal to d phi I enclosed by I. I enclosed by I is pi rho square by pi a square. D phi is available. So using the expression for d phi, now we have d lambda Webers. The total flux linkages in a length L can be found as lambda is integral 0 to a 0 to L mu I rho cube by 2 pi a power 4 d rho dz. Performing integration, we get mu I L by 8 pi. Internal inductance, that is flux linkages per unit current per unit length, then becomes mu by 8 pi. Same as what we got by following a different path. We consider another problem, example 2. Assuming free space medium, find self-inductance L meter long coaxial cable with inner cylinder radius A meter, outer cylinder radius B meter carrying current A. So here a long coaxial cable is given and you are asked to find out its self-inductance. Solution. The actual structure given configuration is sketched here. Outer conductor, inner conductor, radius of inner conductor A, radius of outer conductor B. The flux density in between inner conductor, outer conductor. It is mu naught I by 2 pi rho phi cap. Suppose outside outer conductor it is 0. With this understanding, the magnetic flux density inside the coaxial cable is this, B equal to mu naught I by 2 pi rho. This can be very easily found with the help of Ampere's circuit law. Consider a small rectangular unit length loop parallel to the length of the cable. Here it is shown and lying entirely in between outer conductor and inner conductor as shown in the diagram. Now flux through the loop is phi is P dot dA. So dz is 1 because length is 1. This is 1 and rho is rho. Rho is from, let us say, A to B. A to B. Okay. Now phi is mu naught I by 2 pi natural logarithm B by A Webers. This is also the flux linking the current I per unit length of the cable. The self-inductance is L per unit length is phi by I mu naught by 2 pi natural logarithm B by A. For a cable of length L meters, self-inductance becomes, this is per unit length, for L meters it becomes mu naught L by 2 pi natural logarithm B by A. Another method is also there, that is using expression for magnetic energy. Magnetic energy is half Li square. So L is 2W by I square. Okay. Using this relation also one can compute it. It gives same result as given by the earlier method. Another problem, example 3. Consider a parallel wire line. This is the parallel wire line. Two wires running parallel to each other is parallel wire transmission line. Consisting of two cylindrical wires, each one with a radius A meter separated by a distance D meter. Determine inductance per unit length assuming medium constants mu and epsilon. Also consider a single conductor running parallel to a conducting ground plane at a height of D by 2 meter and find its inductance per unit length. For certain configurations, finding inductance using directly or using the definition is quite difficult. Indirect methods are available. To solve this problem, such an indirect method is being used here. Solution. When conductor radius is small compared to spacing, A is very small compared to D, capacitance per unit length of line shown in figure is C equal to pi epsilon by natural logarithm D by A. This particular result, it is actually obtained in electrostatics when capacitance was considered for discussion. So it is available. C equal to pi epsilon natural logarithm D by A. But from basic wave theory, inductance and capacitance, these two are related through LC equal to mu epsilon, and hence inductance per unit length becomes L is mu epsilon by C. C is already available. Substitution results L being equal to mu by pi natural logarithm D by A Henrys. In case of single conductor running above a conducting plane, as its capacitance is twice, inductance becomes half of that of two conductor system. Another problem, example 4. Assuming free space medium, find self-inductance per unit length of a long solenoid of radius R meter with n turns per unit length. So here is a solenoid like this. It says radius is r meter. This is r. Number of turns per unit length is n. It possesses certain amount of inductance. What is it per unit length? Solution. Using Ampere circuit law, flux density inside the solenoid can be found as B equal to mu naught Ni Tesla. Then the flux through a single turn is phi 1 is B pi r square. Pi r square is area, cross-sectional area of the turn. It becomes mu naught Ni pi r square Webers. As there are n turns in unit length, the flux through unit length becomes phi equal to phi 1 into n. It is mu naught n square I pi r square Webers. So self-inductance per unit length is pi by I. Turns out to be mu naught pi nr whole square Henry. Another problem, example 5. Determine inductance of a toroidal core bounded by Z equal to 0, Z equal to 0.02 meters and rho is 0.02 meters and 0.03 meters and composed of material with mu r equal to 20. It is carrying 5000 tons with a field in azimuthal direction. It is shown here. Several turns are there. Toroidal core. It is rectangular, 2 cm height, 1 cm width. This coil, it is wound on a material with mu r equal to 20. Solution process. The cross section of the given toroid is shown in the figure. It is rectangular. Field intensity inside can be determined using Ampere circuit law with a circular Ampere loop having a radius rho and coaxial with toroid. It gives H phi equal to Ni by 2 pi rho. Ni is 5000, therefore it comes out 2500 I by pi rho. Energy in unit volume in the toroid can be found as energy in the unit volume is half mu h square. H square is available, mu is given, mu r is 20, this is mu naught. So manipulating simplification results in 25 I square by pi rho square. Now energy, total energy can be obtained by performing integration, volume integration. Rho d phi dz is actually d tau in cylindrical coordinate system. Ultimately, total energy comes out to be 0.405 I square joules. From energy, W inductance L of the toroidal core can be obtained using L equal to 2 into energy by I square. It turns out to be 0.81 Henrys. These are some of the things which I want to share with you regarding self-inductance. Enough for now.